America. You know, when people think of Western philosophy, they typically think of Europe. And that's not to say philosophy isn't at all in America, far from it. But in a general sense, I feel as if European philosophers are more well known. I mean, we got the American pragmatists, the transcendentalists, one of whom we'll be talking about in this video, some analytic philosophers, but I don't know, when one thinks of philosophy, they tend to think about Europe. Well, here's my chance to bring an American besides Robert Nozick into the discussion. Howdy folks, I'm Amygdala Vids, and today we're going to be talking about Ralph Waldo Emerson and his essay entitled Self-Reliance. Now I got a question. Don't worry, no need to get defensive, I just got one simple question. Do you always speak your mind, what you really think, whenever the situation arises? Okay, I lied, I got another question. Have you ever spoken things that you might not have fully agreed with? Okay, I triple lied. One last question, I promise. How often do you encounter unique ideas? We live in the age of the internet. In less than a minute, you could whip out your phone and post something available for the entire world to see. Now, one might imagine, with such a tsunami of public opinion, that you'd come across such interesting, profound opinions. But be honest, Twitter never made you drop your phone in sheer awe at the magnitude of individuality. People often talk of social media hive minds. You know, you got the Reddit hive mind, the Twitter hive mind, etc. How might Ralph Waldo Emerson suggest one navigate such a landscape? How might he suggest you act in a world full of conformity, in cookie-cutter talk, so to speak? The essay opens with a Latin phrase, which I will now butcher completely, ne te quaesiveris extra, which translates to, do not seek for things outside yourself. One of these outside things will become apparent as we continue on. Emerson is concerned with believing in your own opinion. To quote Emerson, "Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. He who would gather immortal palms must not be hindered by the name of goodness, but must explore if it be goodness. Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Absolve you to yourself, and you shall have the suffrage of the world." He's quite poetic. I read this essay twice, and each time I was taken aback by how well he writes. We ain't talking some dry Immanuel Kant stuff here. This is some high-grade poetry. Let me just share one more of his quotes about nonconformity just because I like his writing so much. "It is easy in the world to live after the world's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after your own. But the great man is he who in the midst of the crowd keeps with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude." Okay, one last one. This one is shorter, don't worry. "My life is for myself, and not for spectacle." Beautiful. So Emerson's not a big fan of conformity. He wants us to trust our own minds, be individuals, and be independent thinkers. Now one might say, okay Emerson, you may have swayed Amygdala Vids with your eloquence, but I'm a person of reason. Where is the why in all this? You obviously love independent thinking and individuality, but why? I too was looking for this, and I think I found two big reasons, although there are probably more. Number one, believing in your own unique independent thoughts is an act of genius. To quote Emerson, "A man Caesar is born, and for ages after we have a Roman Empire. Christ is born, and millions of minds so grow and cleave to his genius that he is confounded with virtue and the possible of man. An institution is the lengthened shadow of one man, and all history resolves itself very easily into the biography of a few stout and earnest people. It's these people who truly believe their own convictions that were the history movers, the people we remember. How many people do you know in your life that believe things, very unusual things, but hold strong to those beliefs? I mean, returning our attention to social media, what do we see? Copy and paste posts supporting political group number 457, and if there's an argument attached, it's usually drawn from the database of facts that supportmyposition.com. And I know, the internet is a weird place, you could come across some interesting characters, but perhaps the memorability of these people rests upon the foundation of cookie-cutter things we find on social media. It's the interesting, unique ideas that gets heads turning, regardless of their popularity. We think back to Jesus. The dude got crucified for his position, but his steadfast convictions throughout it all led him to be known around the world. Can we say the same for political activist number 67,289? The next reason for taking Emerson's position is in regards to nature. Man is timid and apologetic. He is no longer upright. He dares not say, "I think, I am," but quote some saint or sage. He is ashamed before the blade of grass or the blowing rose. These roses under my window make no reference to former roses or to better ones. They are for what they are. They exist with God today. This kind of plays into the transcendentalism stuff. There's a strong recognition of the significance of nature. And although I can't speak on it a lot, at least not in this video, I'd advise you to look out into the world and see the flow of nature. The way things move and interact. It's very smooth and free-flowing. But what do us humans do? We restrain our minds and words, first checking to make sure they cooperate well with public opinion. Nature doesn't give a damn about opinion. Nature just is. So to summarize, 2 reasons for upholding your intellectual independence and individuality is because this is the path that great historical figures took, and it is an element of nature to be free and flowing. So that's why. Are you happy? Is it satisfactory? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and any additional reasons for not conforming as well. Now I could leave you here, but I enjoy your company too much and want to share 2 interesting considerations Emerson makes that relates to our discussion. Firstly, Emerson celebrates childhood and the sort of rebellious nature of kids as opposed to adults. The nonchalance of boys who are sure of a dinner and would disdain as much as a lord to do or say aught to conciliate one is the healthy attitude of human nature. A boy is in the parlor what the pit is in the playhouse, independent, irresponsible, looking out from his corner on such people and facts as pass by. But the man is, as it were, clapped into jail by his consciousness. As soon as he once acted or spoken with éclat, he is a committed person, watched by the sympathy or the hatred of hundreds, whose affection must now enter into his account. I swear the majority of the audio I record for this video is just gonna be Emerson quotes, but you gotta admit the dude has a way with words. Speaking of being lazy and letting Emerson do all the work for me, another interesting point of his is the community taking position above your individuality. If I know your sect, I anticipate your argument. I heard a preacher announce for his text and topic the expediency of one of the institutions of his church. Do I not know beforehand that not possibly can he say a new and spontaneous word? Well, most people have bound their eyes with one or another handkerchief and attached themselves to some of these communities of opinion. The first quote is more focused on religious groups, but I feel this is especially prevalent with political groups in today's society. The tribe is more important than the individual. Your personality is eaten up by one of these communities of opinion. Politics becomes boring, not in the sense of an 8th grader who doesn't want to do his civics homework, but more in the sense that no one has anything interesting to say anymore. It's all slogans, it's all the same arguments. The person starts to disappear as the logo of the political ideology starts to emerge. Politics is the vehicle of conformity. If you want to truly get to know someone as an individual and have a dope conversation, you'd do best to not talk to them about politics. The last consideration Emerson makes is that you can change. You are free to change. This goes along nicely with his nature justification. As nature changes, just make sure that change is because of yourself and not motivated by conformity. Speak what you think now in hard words, and tomorrow, speak what tomorrow thinks in hard words again, though it contradicts everything you said today. Ah, so you shall be sure to be misunderstood. Is it so bad, then, to be misunderstood? Pythagoras was misunderstood, and Socrates, and Jesus, and Luther, and Copernicus, and Galileo, and Newton, and every pure and wise spirit that ever took flesh. To be great is to be misunderstood. Emerson also describes this forced consistency as dragging around a corpse of your memory. Fun metaphors, right? I think the whole idea of speaking, even if you sound contradictory the next day, makes sense in this whole idea of independence here. Like, if you're concerned for your own wisdom, you're gonna make mistakes and rethink things. But if you're concerned for the opinion of others, then you'll want to appear smart and consistent. Well, this video got long. I usually give a recommendation to read the original text at the end of these videos, but here I really gotta stress it. It's a short read, so choose a free night, run a bath, put some Tame Impala on in the background, maybe grab yourself a glass of OJ, and have fun with it. That's gonna do it for me. Hit the subscribe button. Oh wait, this is a video on nonconformity. Okay, don't hit the subscribe button, and don't hit the like button, and don't hit the bell. I hope you don't have a great rest of your day.